What's up, guys? I hope you're doing well, and today we're going to be talking about Darryl. So, Darryl is one of my favorite brawlers in the game just because he has high attack, he does a lot of damage, and he has a good amount of health, and I really like his ult because it gives a lot of kind of utility-wise. You can use it to run away, you can use it to pressure people, you can use it to kill people, and I think kind of Darryl, if you want to be a really good Darryl, it revolves around how well you use your ult. There's one thing with Darryl where it's like if you time your ult perfectly and you kind of land on top of the other person, that stuns them for around kind of like a few milliseconds, and in that time you can get off 2 shots, which if you hit them perfectly, that's more than 8,000 damage at max kind of power, max level, and that's just enough to take out almost every brawler in the game. And yeah, so his utility wise, he's really good, and that's why I wanted to push him to 1250 in solos, because I only push solos for high trophies because I'm not good enough to push brawlers to 1250 in 3v3 mode. And yeah, but one thing I found out quickly was that Darryl was a lot harder than I anticipated. And that's just because in high trophies you need to get first or basically second if you want kind of to succeed in your push, and that's really hard with Darryl. And and also one thing that's very important for any brawler if you're pushing in solos is you really want to be aware of the map. With Darryl, there's 3 maps that I really like. I have the Storm because of Meteor. Basically all the Meteor maps, they work with Darryl. With Meteor, you can basically kind of just hide away and people won't team, and it makes it easier to pick people off, and it makes it easier kind of to play more passive. So if you play more passive like I usually do with Darryl, you can have more success in Meteor modes. The other map that I heard was really good is Rocky Blocks. Personally, I didn't find as much success in it just because kind of even in endgame scenarios, you can't beat Jackie or BB because they can shoot across the wall, and you can't really do that. But it's another potentially viable map that you can push 1250 Darryl in. And kind of what I should have done, but I didn't really do it, but from Thousand Lakes is another really good Darryl map, and that's something I'd push from. I'd say would work if you were pushing from around 1150 to 1250. If you're playing really well on Thousand Lakes, you should. If you're playing really passive too, there might be a little bit of teaming, but definitely kind of, I guess Darryl just works really well in the center. If you get center control early on, you'll get a lot of boxes, but you're also going to get a lot of control because you can kind of basically go anywhere around the center. Because of his ult, it can go across the water, and you can basically dash to wherever you want quickly enough so that you can pick people off, and you'll see me doing that like a few times in my clips. And yeah, but Thousand Lakes, I generally, if you want to push consistently, then I'd push on Thousand Lakes. And yeah, but right now, with the current meta, Darryl's also become a lot worse because a lot of people are running Pam and even 8-bit, and that if they are at a if they have range advantage over you, then you're gonna lose. You're not gonna beat a Pam. And yeah, so the other maps are just really bad, especially Robo maps, because Darryl, he can kill Robo really fast, but if you don't have enough of a box advantage, then people are just going to go for the Robo while you're taking it, and they're basically going to use the Robo as a tank, so you're going to waste all your shots on the Robo, and then they're going to kill you and also take the 3 power-ups that the boss drops. So going back to my gameplay, you can see I'm just pushing on Thousand Lakes at this point because Thousand Lakes, it was the easiest map to push Darryl on, and I pushed him from 900 to 1000 on my first try. This was in the second 2 weeks ago where I pushed Darryl to 1000, and I found a lot of success with him. But I also pushed him to 1100 last season, but that one was a little bit harder, and just because I didn't push on Thousand Lakes, I pushed on other maps, and I did push to 1100, but then by the end of the season I tilted down to 1026 because I was pushing on the wrong maps, and I just kept pushing because of just because I was being dumb. But yeah, so with Darryl, you can see I'm not going for the center usually. Although I kind of say that you should be going for the center early on, it's definitely a lot more it's a lot harder to push for the center without your ult. So I usually only, if there are still boxes left, push for the center when I have my ult. Because a lot of the piercing brawlers, you can't really beat a lot of the piercing brawlers, like Tara, because you can't do piercing, so it's really annoying to win against, or go to the middle if there's like a piercing brawler following you. And yeah, so I don't know. A lot of people don't like to play passive, like bush camping. But also, one thing that you should keep in mind if you have this kind of mindset is that it's very hard to win consistently playing aggressive with someone like Darryl, just because a lot of the time with Darryl you're going to be taking a little bit of damage, and if you're doing this consistently, if you're going for basically everyone on the map, then other people will kind of either gang up on you, or they're gonna be camping in bushes and kill you in the end, and it's just really annoying. But yeah, if you're playing passive, you're gonna be gaining less trophies than if you're playing aggressive, but you're gonna be losing less trophies at the same time, which arguably is a little bit better. But if you want to push fast, then play aggressive, and well, I guess if you're playing aggressive and succeeding, then it's probably better, but just your playstyle in general. Yeah, but if you are trying to get Darryl to rank 35, then I would not I would just not push Darryl to rank 35 because he's really hard. I don't think anyone has pushed Darryl to rank 35 in solos since he got his nerf, so I just kind of use that evidence as why you shouldn't be pushing Darryl high trophies for Darryl. If you want to push 35, please watch my 8-bit video where I'll examine how I pushed 35 on 8-bit, who I don't think is the easiest brawler. I kind of mentioned it's Pam or BB, but it's definitely not as hard as 8-bit or Darryl. So those are brawlers that you might want to consider if this is your first time pushing a rank 35 brawler. Yeah, Darryl is definitely viable, but I just don't really know the strategy. So if you do have success pushing Darryl, if you push to rank 32 or even 30, please let me know how you're doing it, your strategy, and I'd love to showcase you in an upcoming video, because I think it's important not just to hear from me, because I'm probably one of the worst showdown players out there. Because a lot of my strategy is more passive than other people, so I'd love to get your playstyle, showcase your showdown playstyle if you are having success in showdown. But yeah, my 1000 game was relatively easy. I got center control early on, which turned out to be extremely important because no one else had any power up. So you can see I'm playing a lot more aggressive, and I'm winning just because I have like 10 times the elixir as other people. And here is a great example of when I should lose, but I'm not, because I have 10 times the elixir as the other person. And yeah, that's 1000 Darryl done, and I'll share one more game of pushing on Eye of the Storm. And yeah, you'll see when I'm pushing on Eye of the Storm, a lot of the way I'm playing is just playing very passive. I'm not going to bushes where I think there may be people. I'm basically not going to bushes at all. Without kind of checking them, because a bull or a Shelly camping in a bush can really end your day. And also Ems, really, if there's an Ems, you should never go aggressive, just because Ems with her ult or even just her gadget can really make your day, can really be bad for your push. Yeah, so I'm trying to although I'm saying that I'm camping, like I'm spinning, I'm not really camping, I'm just spinning in order to get them close to me, and then I'll backstab them. Because with Darryl, it just, especially on this map, just teaming isn't good. Meteor is gonna target you if you're teaming, and you're not gonna win. Yeah, so here, yeah, the Tara, I don't know if she knew I was there or not, but she made a mistake, and in Showdown, like any other mode, you really want to capitalize on mistakes. And I'm not really sure if this bush, just because I didn't really check it at all, so I'm really kind of playing this bush really conservatively. I'm not going fully into the bush yet because I thought there was a bull in the final kind of in the final grass, but when I saw the BB move so close to the bush and not get kind of completely game ended, I just moved into the bush, or I became less scared. But I also want to play a little more passive and not enter the bush because everyone already knew I was in the bush, so you don't really have any surprise. And also here I could have gone for the penny, but the way I play is I want to have other people do the work for me, so I knew if someone else went for the, or I knew if the BB went for the penny before I did, then I could kill the BB. But if I went for the penny earlier, then the BB might have gone for me and game ended me. And yeah, so the bull's doing the same thing, playing very passive, and I know in a one-on-one, I have the range advantage over the bull, so there's not much he can do. And I just wanted to use my ult to basically make it harder for the bull. I didn't want him to have that much leisure. I wanted it to make it harder for them, and I ended up winning because I already had the range advantage over them, and he couldn't really do anything about it. But yeah, so here is kind of my take to playing Darryl, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any success playing Darryl, please let me know. I really want to learn because I personally do not know how to play Darryl that well. And also, I probably won't make any more videos about Darryl, well, especially pushing Darryl high, because, well, I think with the current rework to Darryl, I don't really like his rework. He looks a bit too chunky for me. I really liked his previous Dumpling Darryl skin, but now I don't really like it as much. I thought it looked a lot more cleaner. He just looks a bit kind of too much information, I think. I don't know, but yeah, I don't really like his design, and I push people based on their design and also how good they are, and Darryl just doesn't look good, and I don't think he's that good. He doesn't look good, and I don't think he plays that well too, so I'm gonna play someone else, and hopefully this season I'll push someone else to 35, and I'll share it when I do. Alright, peace out.